Well, good morning. I hope everybody's doing great today. It is absolutely gorgeous out here today. Um, Sun's over that way. Um, but yeah, beautiful skies. A little chilly yet. It's 50 degrees in my shop, so I'm sure it's probably about 40 degrees outside. But it's supposed to get up to about 70 today, so we'll see. Cleaned up a little bit last night, but we've got all the welds in. Still got a weld right here. Thelma, quit following me around. That's my daughter's dog. We got this one upright in. We got this one, the uprights. Pretty much where I left you guys is where I still got to go. Got to weld in all that. I'm going to get all the welding done first. And then once that is all done, then I'm going to try to reset the suspension. I'm hoping that goes well. Should. I don't see why not. And then we can, at that point, I have a measurement. I'm going to, after I get it all welded in and the suspension in place, I'm going to put the tires that were on the trailer back on it, and may even take it down the road just a few miles. I've got a couple of those tires that are bad, so ain't gonna be a real good test. But I'll put 4 tires on it, probably take it down at the end of the road and back, and then measure from the ground to the center of the hub, because I know what a 205 is. A 205 tire from the ground to the center of the hub is 13 inches. So what I'll do is measure from the ground to the center of the hub, and then with the 225s on there, I can measure from the frame rail to the ground, and then the difference between the center of the hub and the ground from a 205 to a 225, I can subtract that distance, and it basically give me a frame height. And I need that frame height so I can start building this dovetail. So, but yeah, I feel good so far about it. So we'll keep going. I'll get back with you guys here in a little bit when I get started. Why, good morning. How you guys doing today? Hold on here a second. Petroleum mud. So yesterday we got all the rail put in, everything all done. If you notice, I got the axle removed. Got a boatload of scrap metal over here. 2 fenders gone. Scrap metal, more scrap metal, more scrap metal. There's a little more scrap metal than what one rail produced. Well, guys, we got something to talk about. You ever had one of them projects, an old car, an old house, piece of furniture, old furniture? Once you kind of dive into it, you feel committed, but it's like, holy moly, when is the damage going to stop? Old car, rusty floor. You found a rust hole in the floor. Next thing you know, the whole floor's rotted out. Well, thank goodness I bought another rail. That was supposed for the dovetail and everything. But guess what? The other side's missing a rail now. Cut it out from there. I still got a lot of cleaning to do. There's the old rusty rail that's left over, and then all the way down through there. It's gone. Yeah. I'm doing what I said I would not do. But what do? Scrap an old trailer? And go buy one that might be better or is better? This is taking a lot of time. Cost ain't horrible. 2 new rails and then the upgrades. So that's the way I got to keep it in my head. Upgrades, the dovetail, better attachment points, miscellaneous other things. I got to keep that in my head that's optional. That's things that I wanted to do to the trailer. But what can you do to make the trailer back to the way it was? Well, that was a new rail here, a new rail there, and new tires. That's what makes the trailer back to original, and plus paint. My last video, I said, if you see a trailer like this, run like your back is on fire. Well, one should. I'm fortunate that I am able to make these repairs. I told you also I enjoy doing this kind of work. I do. I really do. At some point the enjoyment starts to go away. And until I get that new rail in there, looking like that side, the enjoyment's not there. Oh, and I started to, sorry, twitching you around, welded up some of the holes in the trailer. I'm not welding this one up yet. I might have something different going on back here. But yeah, second rail gone. So that means I need to go get another, and the axle is out. Both axles. They're laying back here. So that's where I'm at, guys. So I'm going to have to go buy another stick. I need another 20 feet. That's 20-foot stick right there. And then I still have that 4-foot cutoff. So when I cut this piece, I'll have 2 4-footers, which is not enough to do my dovetail. My dovetail is going to require, so just so you know, since I'm replacing the 2 sides, I am going to go ahead and replace this back rail. So anyhow, out of those 2 4-footers, I'm going to run a brace from here to here. It's about 21 inches each, so that'll pretty much eat that one piece of 4-footer up. The other one, I think I'm going to cut these out. This upright here on both sides. If I take a 2x3, this is 2x2. I take a 2x3, a 2x3 will stick out 1 inch here, and then go down, cut it on a little bit of an angle, look nice. Take it all the way down here, and then with the dovetail, and then I'll cut this off, and this will continue down to the dovetail. I feel that light's going to be pretty good protected. It'll be recessed into that 2x3. Then I'll have a backup light, and then on the side I'll put a marker, all recessed. So I think with you can't bash the light this way, can't bash the light this way, and with this tube going down, I feel that that light is going to be as protected as it can be. I'm Glenn, so I'm going to bust it out eventually. So anyhow, put 3 lights there: tail light, reverse light, and a marker. And then the fender will be here, and I'll probably put another marker here and another marker here. And I know it'll be 2 markers in one place, but I'll probably put a marker right here, a recessed marker. This is hollow inside, so a small one. Even if I could get one of them little 3-inchers or 3/4 inch lights to put there. I'm not saying that on the other ones, but that one. The reason I like that is because at night I can look in my mirrors and I can see that light. I might be able to see that one back there. I'm not sure yet, but I will be able to see that one. But anyhow, guys, that's where I'm at. So done, not done. Hopefully today I'll be able to I've got to grind off all the extra metal. That on top there that you see, that's leftover of the rail that was on there. Got to grind all the ribs again, grind everything again. Cut that to 188 3/4, same as that side. That side is fully welded in, fully. There's no more welding other than those holes, and I've just about got all of those. So let's get busy. Well, with the power of YouTube, that is all cleaned up and the new tube is in. Gotta weld it, but it is installed. Wow. Again, that was a lot of work. Whew. Anyhow, there we are. We're getting ready to weld that in. New tires, 5 of them. 4 for the trailer, 1 for a spare. So let's get back to work. All right, guys. So I'm going to be replacing this 2x2. It's bent. I don't know. It's weird looking. So I'm going to put another one in there. I like the idea of it, adding strength to the tongue, I guess. But what I do like about it is I think it'd be a good place to mount a spare tire. I can't have it that close up here because when I come in here with my, well, I guess I could. I come in here and I set my bucket down on here with the bucket turned and then set, it hits on the edge right here, which I'm going to put wood up here for the bucket to sit on. So the bucket would probably hang over. I don't want it in the way of this. So if I mounted maybe a bracket that would allow, I don't know, or maybe stand it up more. I gotta have operation of this jack. So that would work. Let's see, let's center it. Okay, that's about center. So it hits the tire. So do I just raise the front up maybe like so and bring it down like so? Then it hits the tire there. I don't really want to mount it on the side. You'll be bumping into it and all that. I don't really want it mounted flat either, but that's about where it needs to be. I guess once I get these tires mounted up on the rims, or maybe I just make that bracket, instead of making that just a tube like that, do I change it and then stand this tire up? That might be an idea. If I came back here a little ways, yeah, that might be an idea, guys. You know, that's got to come off anyhow. Why don't I just go ahead and cut that off and then we can design that? Huh. Well, let's see. Thought I got it cut all the way off. I don't know what's hanging it up. Holy rusty. So this tube, glad I got it off there. I don't understand this tube. Look at it. That's a piece of square tubing, right? Look how it's blistered and it's busted. It's got this dent in it, so they must, I don't know what they did with that. But I was planning on replacing that anyhow. But now that that's gone, let's take a tire over here. That's about center. So if I put that tire right there, okay, that's in the way. That would be best. But for some reason in my brain, I like that bar in there. I don't know what it's really doing or why they had it. Or do I mount it on the side over here? I don't want it down below the frame, because then if you drag, you're going to drag your tire. So I guess I could mount it. I guess I could mount it like that. Put my brace back in and come in over here with a mount. Put it like so. I don't really want it out here because I don't want it hitting, and I don't want it down low to drag. But it could be like that right there. What do you guys think? Don't want to put it here because then it'll hit the truck. Right here it's protected from hitting the truck. It's out of the way of that hitch. It's out of the way of my bucket. I really wanted it like that. But I guess rainwater will sit on the rim and rust. Might be in the way of the bucket. It's definitely in the way of the... Is it? It might not be in the way right there. No, it's not. How does that happen? Right there's not bad. It's out of the way of this operation. It's out of this operation. It's not centered though. Still out of the operation. Guys, I think that's where it's going to go. I'll just have to shorten up the replacement pipe. Yep. That's how it's going to go. And when my bucket comes down, it'll be tilted like this. Sit right there and it'll be right over top of the tire. Actually, it needs to go that way just a little. Right there. That's perfect. I think that's where it's going to go. Unless you guys tell me different. What do you think? That looks good. Only thing left as far as the repairs go is to weld the axles back in. Everything else is done. 2 new side rails, and we upped the size of the metal. It was built with 14 gauge and we replaced it with 11 gauge. So it's a little thicker. Same size, just thicker metal. All right, guys, I'm wore out. So I'm gonna clean up my mess, put everything away, but it is welded. And she's all nice and pretty. Hopefully tomorrow or Tuesday I can get another 20-foot stick of steel, and then I'll replace this back rail, build my dovetail, do some figuring on what I'm going to do with lighting and fenders. I don't know, might go buy some new fenders. I don't know, we'll see. But so I was talking to a friend of mine, and he let me know what he thought may have been the reasoning behind that tube that I was telling you about. This tube here that we cut off, right? I just laid it back into place. So the way that tube was welded in there, it was just like you see it right there, except for in here there was always a gap. Can you see that gap? Let me see if I got the camera right. Yeah, right there. He said, what do you think? It was welded solid at the bottom. He says, wonder if that filled up with water like during a rain, and it froze and popped that. I mean, I don't know if the camera does that any justice, but that's round. But it's a piece of rectangle steel. Well, no, it's square. It's 1.5 by 1.5. I said 2-inch earlier, but it's 1.5 by 1.5. So without that having a weep hole in the bottom, did that thing fill up with water and freeze and busted? Because look at that, that's busted. There, well, that side didn't, but, and not only that, the tube is round right here in the middle. It's almost, look at my hand, it's round, but you can clearly see it's a square piece of tubing. Let me know. Sounds logical to me. So anyhow, guys, I'm done for the night. Well, I'm not done, but I ain't gonna really be working on that trailer anymore. If I do, I'll get the camera back out, but I've got to put the truck away, tractor away, clean up my mess. I can't stand to go in the house with everything a mess. So sometimes I do, but most of the time not. But anyhow, you guys have a good evening. If I don't come back out here and work no more, we'll talk at you tomorrow or Tuesday. Not sure which day I'll get back on this, but have a good evening.